Hey Gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey.
I'm Holly.
Back there is Tucker.
Yeah, that's me.
And he's got his Nano riding with him, and we are in the 2023 Chrysler Pacifica eHybrid Pinnacle trim. We've road tripped this thing over 2,000 miles already, and in this video, we are going to tell you what this vehicle is like for a family of three. Stay tuned. But now would be a good time to talk about our sponsor for this video, and that is Electron EV Chargers. They did supply us with this 110-240 convertible unit here that comes with a NEMA 1450 plug that you can see plugs in to the adapter base right here. It also comes with a 110 household style plug, so you can charge it at home or wherever you are on the go, and you don't have to worry about what kind of plug situation you're moving into. You can learn more about them and all the different products they have supplied us with for testing and that they offer for your electric vehicle by visiting the link down in the description below. Any purchase helps our channel. We thank you a whole lot. Hey Holly, I mentioned it earlier, over 2,000 miles already logged on this. We've got a whole Route 66 road trip video coming out on this vehicle that Chrysler so graciously provided to us for a trip finishing out Route 66. But today we're talking about just the vehicle. What are your thoughts?
Just the vehicle. Well, it is definitely a great vehicle for a road trip.
Hashtag save the minivans.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a pretty vehicle on the inside. In fact, as we're doing our 2-week trip, I did a couple of meetings in the car. And one of my coworkers said, I cannot believe that is a minivan. It looks so pretty.
Yeah, so the Pinnacle trim gets these quilted, ventilated, heated, 2-position memory driver's seat, camel, I don't know, beautiful leather seats, high back with the Uconnect rear entertainment system, which Tucker has absolutely loved, right T-Man? And we'll get into all the Uconnect stuff here in a little bit, but why don't we start on the outside, work our way in. I know we've already touched a little on the interior, but what are your thoughts on the exterior of this one?
It's nice.
it's
a minivan. It's a minivan.
So, okay, I'll throw this out there. I put a poll on the YouTube channel of what is your go-to road trip vehicle, and I put minivan with a picture of this one. I put SUV with the Kia Telluride because everybody seems to love those, and I put a convertible with your favorite convertible, the Lexus LC500, and this came in dead last. And I don't know what it is.
And they're wrong.
Minivans are so practical.
Yeah.
They
so much easier. Was it the SUV that came in first?
Yes.
Because, and both of us were like, why?
Yeah. There was a convertible on the list. But by a handy margin, the SUV won. And what's crazy is this fuel-efficient hybrid minivan has more interior storage space than a Chevy Tahoe, and it's more usable.
A lot more versatility in the storage space as well.
So easy to put those seats in the floor. This one doesn't have stow and go in the second because it's a hybrid. We'll get to that. But you and I did do the first half of Route 66 in a lesser trim, non-hybrid Pacifica. This one just takes it up a notch. So.
Yes.
A little bit different styling outside to distinguish its Pinnacle-ness. It says Pinnacle on the doors, but otherwise a very attractive vehicle. I will say right now, I grew up in a maroon burgundy Plymouth Grand Voyager with a tan interior, so this van is taking me back to my childhood.
Is that a good thing or a...
It's a good thing, yes. We loved the van growing up. It was a perfect road trip rig for us back then. Chrysler invented the minivan back in 1984, so it's only fitting that we do the mother road in the most recent iteration of it.
I mean, you people just got to get over the
Stigma
of driving a minivan, because it's where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, it's supremely comfortable. We'll get into the fuel efficiency.
Corey's going to be driving one day when we get a new car.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I've put a lot of those 2,000 miles on this one.
It'll fit right next to my Bronco.
Oh. I don't know if that's our 2-car garage. But, okay, another thing about minivans that make them so incredibly practical, and it kind of bridges the gap between exterior and interior, the sliding doors. Tucker loves them. He can use them and access them, where typically he's still working on, like, opening and closing conventional doors. Here it's a push of a button for him. Mm-hmm. And we were downtown Chicago, getting in and out on the sides of streets, made so simple by the sliding doors on this.
Yeah, 100%. The sliding doors are a big factor, and you can control them up here at the front as well.
And you can lock them out.
And you can lock them so that the kids can't get to it. But yeah, it makes it a lot easier. And not to mention that it's lower, so like even as it's easy for Tucker to get in and out all by himself. It's easy for him to load in his bags and stuff. So,
it's been a great road trip rig. And then the big windows back there, we touched on it last year. We saw the Grand Canyon out the big side windows, and he's got sunshades back there. So that brings us in here. We've already talked about the very beautiful seats, caramel seats.
Yes.
What else are your impressions overall in here, the dash and everything?
Well, everything is luxury in here, right? It's you've got the wood up at the front. I like the different colored stitching here. Those are all, and then you've got the stitching onto the steering wheel too, which is a nice and comfy steering wheel for long distances.
Yes. Tilt telescope.
Yeah, you got the 2-person memory seats, which is also nice, especially if you're road tripping and switching out drivers often.
Now we have a 10-year-old Jeep Cherokee, and the steering wheel buttons and controls are as near as makes no difference, identical to what is in your 10-year-old Jeep, which could be a bad thing, but for us is a very good thing, very easy to use.
It's clear there's not too much where it's overwhelming, just everything that you need.
Now I will say, this being the Pinnacle trim, I do feel, after having sampled other Chrysler products, that being Ram, Jeep, that this being the sole Chrysler branded product moving forward with the death of the 300, this interior could use a little bit of an upgrade. I mean, we've had a leather wrapped dash in the Ram 1500 TRX. This is not leather wrapped. I don't know, I just feel that Chrysler isn't getting all the love that it should within its own family of brands.
Maybe.
So, but I mean, we've got some nice leather padding and stuff, and wireless charger and all that stuff.
The storage underneath the console, which I love.
And we've got storage in here. Interesting, again, going back to other Chrysler products, we've got just a single tier glove or center console here. Your Jeep has a 2-tier. That Ram TRX had a 2-tier. Interesting that it's just a plain old center console. Oh no, a little disappointed in that one, I guess, when it comes to storage.
Well, I mean, it's got a big hole, so
plenty of stuff down there. Then there's the Qi wireless charger here. We've got 2 USB-A and 2 USB-C up here for us to plug in. Wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. You can have multiple phones paired at the same time and switch between them, which is coming handy on our trip.
Yes.
Little hidden storage here. We've got the Blu-ray disc player for Tucker back there in the back, and a USB if we had just a bunch of media on a thumb drive for him to watch back there. He's streaming on the built-in Wi-Fi. He's watching Disney Plus on this trip so far. So it's been a very good family vehicle in that
And let's talk about the Wi-Fi a little bit, because we have given that. I worked.
Yes, I've worked in it
worked on and off. You've worked they've been streaming in the back. It's worked really well.
Yep.
A lot better than I was expecting it to.
Yep. And he's hardly missed a beat back there. This has got Amazon Fire built right into it, so we're logged into our Prime, we're logged into Disney Plus, and to YouTube. He's got pretty much all the comforts of the home right back there in the back seat. The only thing we're missing is Apple TV, which he doesn't really watch anything on that. But I like that I can control his screens back there from up here. I like that I can see what he's watching back there. I can lock him out from up here if I need to. He's got a remote control back there. Your mom's got a remote control on her side. They can watch two different things. They can watch the same thing. There's a lot of road trip pluses back there in the back. And those back seats are very similar to these front seats. So the Pacifica we had last year had stow and go, which allowed the seats, even in the middle row, to fold into the floor. So they had to be a little bit smaller. These seats are practically the same as these front. They aren't heated, they aren't ventilated, but the size and shape of them, so there's more seat to it back there. But
they don't stow and go?
No, they don't stow and go because that's where the batteries are. But before we get into the battery tech, let's install Tucker's child safety seat back in that second row. All right, so putting a child safety seat back here in the back. Tucker has been back here for 3,000 miles and he has ridden quite nicely and comfortably. I will note that these seats slide forward, which will come in handy when installing it, and the lower latch points are very easy to find. But getting Tucker's forward-facing extend-to-fit child safety seat in is very easily done thanks to these very massive sliding doors. There's just so much to like about a minivan. Being able to latch them in down low is very easy, and this being a minivan, it's not too tall, so you can climb in very easily and tighten this thing down. All very nice, very simple. And then to get to that lower latch back in the back, you slide it forward, drop it down behind, and it is rather low down here. So being able to get to that and access it with the seat only going forward this much is a little tedious, cumbersome, but is very nice and easy to do as well. And then you can slide it back into place. Unfortunately, these are as far back as they go, so it's a little tight getting in and around the car seat, but otherwise I would give the installation process an A-. Very nice Chrysler. And another thing I will note is that when you want to get into the third row seats, you can't do it with a child seat in place. You can only slide it forward, you can't really do it there, and you're gonna have to go around or go in through the other door. Okay, no stow and go for the second row. Third row does, so we can put that into the floor very easily. But this is the eHybrid, so that means all the batteries are where the stow and go would be for those second row. This is a plug-in hybrid, but it's not like the plug-in hybrids from Jeep with their 4xe products. So on those, there are some buttons where you can select, you can turn off the electric mode and you can run purely in gas, or you can run like a normal hybrid, or you can run it like a full EV until it depletes. This just defaults to, it's gonna burn through all of the battery, and then it's gonna go into normal hybrid operation, which honestly for a majority of this trip is what we've been doing, because finding plugs on the road has been a little difficult.
Yes, because you can't just plug into a regular charging station.
You can't plug into a DC fast charger. You can plug into, we've got a household style plug that was supplied with the van. We also have our Electron supplied convertible charger that allows us to plug into 240 or 110. But the problem is finding hotels, places to sleep that'll allow us to plug in overnight. The one night we did get to charge it overnight, plugged in 110, it took 12 hours to charge, but in the morning we had 32-ish miles of all electric range on tap. So that's a gallon of gas. Yeah. So not bad, especially when gas prices in Chicago are $4,999 a gallon. So which brings us to 2,097 miles even on the clock, 29 MPG overall, 474.6 miles have been all electric miles.
Yeah.
So even after depleting that 30 miles of initial range, this goes into full hybrid operation, and it tries to conserve gasoline wherever possible.
That kind of range and gas mileage and stuff, you ain't gonna get that in a Tahoe.
No. We've seen over 500 miles of range when fully charged and full tank of gas. This thing can haul. For the
Okay.
In fact, when we left our house in East Texas to go to Amarillo to start our journey, we didn't
even stop.
Yeah, we made it almost all the way to Amarillo. We had to stop before the vehicle did. So this thing can move, can put the miles in, and that is one thing we really like about it.
Yeah.
I will ask though, have you noticed the engine coming on and off?
No.
Because
Not really.
the electric motor primarily is what is driving the wheels, whereas that 3.6 liter engine under the hood is really there to help regenerate, and on long hauls like this when we're at highway speeds, it comes in handy there as well. Again, another point of difference between the Jeep 4xe systems that use a small 2-liter 4-cylinder. This uses the big 3.6 that I would love to see a Jeep 4xe with a 3.6. This thing's a hot rod, but we won't get into that. Yes. Before we left town, we were in some very inclement weather, and I could hear if I slipped and gave it too much throttle to start off with, it would spin the tires without fail. Like it was a tire spin happy vehicle. It's a hot rod. It's a dad rod.
It's a dad rod.
So, any other thoughts on this one before I pull out the window sticker?
The only thing that's not my favorite, but you like more, are the seats are very firm.
They are.
So if you like a cushionary seat, they're not uncomfortable, they're just really firm.
Yes, and again, with over 2,100 miles on the odometer, you start to notice things like that.
Yeah. And there's been some creaks.
Yeah, there's a little rattle somewhere hidden either in the dash or in the door over there. I'm pretty sure the one in the back is self-inflicted. It is,
with all our stuff.
Yeah, it is our stuff rattling around in the back, not the van. But yes, there's definitely one up there somewhere. So, we typically talk about cars being buttoned down. This one's got a little gremlin in it somewhere. But otherwise, really nice vehicle.
Really
Again,
nice. Luxury.
Could be a little more upscale even compared to some of the other brands in the portfolio. But window sticker time.
All right.
Before we get into
Hit
that,
me.
I will say that
and it comes with pillows. We didn't talk about the pillows.
Yes, quilted leather pillows for the backseat lumbar. This one even did come with the what do they call it? The Calm Cabin package that Chrysler and the Autism Society paired up together with. And we've got an article on our website coming out on that that we wrote in conjunction with my brother. Just go to gtgaragetalk.com for that. But window sticker. I will say combined city highway MPG on the window sticker is 30. Again, I'm looking at 28.9, so pretty close to window sticker there. But what would you say this Pinnacle trim eHybrid will run you?
Well, 75.
No.
Okay.
62.85. As this one says.
62.85. And this is the top trim?
Yep, top trim. Nice. That's with all the screens, the panoramic roof, the suede headliner, all the luxuries.
So the trim level below it doesn't have the screens on the back?
No, that's an optional extra. And
on any trim?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And to be fair, we haven't even talked about another fun thing that comes with those rear screens, and that is FamCam. So we can actually look on the cameras and see what Tucker is doing back there. It's an infrared camera too, so it works at night. You can pick any seat in the vehicle and zoom in on it. So talking about that rattle back there in the back, that is the fridge that we do have plugged into the household style plug back there behind Tucker too. So just so much good in this vehicle for a family vehicle, and apparently over 10 grand less than what you figured it would cost.
Exactly. So how does that compare to a Telluride or a Tahoe?
Comes in much less than a Tahoe, right in line with a Telluride. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Is the Telluride hybrid?
No.
There you go.
Gas V6 on that one. So,
There you go.
there you go. I guess this is my next ride then, huh?
This is your next ride, honey.
As we get you a Bronco.
You said it was a hot rod?
A dad rod.
A dad rod? There you go.
And on that note, if you want to see more from Holly, see some stuff from her perspective, go find her on Facebook and Instagram at Female Consumer. Tucker's there too. I'm on there occasionally. Or you can find all things GT Garage Talk, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, at GT Garage Talk. Or like I said, go to gtgaragetalk.com where you can read all of our articles. But as from us, on our way back from Chicago in the 2023 Chrysler Pacifica eHybrid Pinnacle trim. Until next time, gearheads. Bye.
Bye.
I got a red blinking light? Yeah. So she doesn't interrupt us. Everybody ready?
I'm almost not in it.